Hello Sagittarius, welcome to Cat Mama Tarot and welcome to this timeless reading. I trust that it will find you when you need to hear it, but as always use your discernment, and if the messages don't fit then feel free to come back another time or just come back and watch a different video. Also, you can watch this video for any Sagittarius placement in your chart. All right, well, the oracle cards are ready to go, so let's dive in. We're starting here with courage. Courage in the face of conflict. There's some word here that I'm not familiar with. Moon lore, ebb and flow. Well, if you're watching this around the time when I'm posting it, it's interesting because we have a lunar eclipse coming up this week. So that could be significant for you, or if you're watching it at another time, the next lunation, new moon, full moon, could be relevant. We've got lots of bunny rabbits here as well, I'm noticing, Sagittarius, as well as a bird. What bird is that? Can't quite tell. All right, let's get our last oracle card for you here. Intuition. Well, that's got an owl, and then oh yeah, that's an owl too. Yeah, it's owls here. Okay, and acceptance at the bottom of the deck with another bunny rabbit. Okay, well, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind with rabbits for me right now is luck. So perhaps there is some good fortune coming your way, Sagittarius. Okay, sorry, I'm getting sucked into the imagery of the cards, more so than I have with the other readings for some reasons. Perhaps it would be fortuitous or benefit you in some way, or be good for you to kind of go to a museum or a gallery and really kind of check out some artwork. I don't know why that's coming to mind, but take it if it resonates. Oh, there's also a crow here. Oh, maybe that's a flying crow. Okay. Really focused on the imagery. So yeah, I think there's a message there, because honestly, I've just been doing other readings and I have not been drawn into the imagery like that. I mean, to a certain extent, but not to this extent. And so it seems like by going to a place where you can really look closely at some art, some imagery, there might be some kind of messages for you there. There might be something there for you. Like something that's, ultimately speaking to your intuition, or going to kind of trigger some kind of intuitive message for you, some kind of inner wisdom. I don't know if it takes courage to take yourself to a museum or a gallery, but you are being asked to step into a place of courage and bravery. Perhaps you're dealing with some kind of conflict right now, because it says courage in the face of conflict, and you're needing to kind of get into your strength. And with the moon lore here, ebb and flow, like I said, the timing of this eclipse could be significant, or the next lunation could be significant, as well as, when we think about ebb and flow, it's kind of like getting into, there's another card that speaks to getting into the rhythm of life, but that's what I'm hearing here, right? Like just kind of getting into the flow of things, which actually very much speaks to acceptance, right? And the more we can accept what is, accept ourselves, the more we can get into that flow space, right? And the more we can be okay when things, ebb and flow, right? Where we don't expect things always to flow. When things ebb, we're okay with that because we're in a place of acceptance. So whatever is happening for you right now, Sagittarius, I think you're being called to really be in your strength, right? Have courage with whatever you're facing, whatever challenges may be coming up for you, if that involves conflict or not. And really tune into your intuition and find ways to tune into your intuition, and going to a museum, looking at different artwork, or images, or some kind of visual representations of things could actually spark something that that provides you with some kind of intuitive guidance. It helps you tap into your inner wisdom. And you're also being called to really get into, or really focus on being in a place of acceptance, so that you can just kind of ebb and flow with what is. And like I said, perhaps the next lunation or the upcoming eclipse, if you're watching this when I'm posting it, are significant in terms of timing. Let's see what other messages we have here for you from the tarot. All right, we've got the High Priestess, the Judgment card, the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Swords. At the heart of your reading, we have the World, followed by the Knight of Swords, the Two of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. Oh, I like that. When we have two sixes here, oftentimes it means, or it can signify that you are on the right track here. So that's a good sign. Just a little side note. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Hierophant. And I love that it is right next to this Intuition, Inner Wisdom card, because for me, the Hierophant speaks to knowing and trusting that you have the wisdom to guide you and to provide you with the guidance that you need, that you have a lot of experience, you have a lot of knowledge that has provided you with wisdom within you that you can tap into. So we start here with the heart of your reading, the World card. So there is a significant chapter of your life that seems to be, that you seem to be completing, right? There's like something that you are completing that is closing out one chapter and starting a whole new chapter for you. And the World card also indicates success. So congratulations, Sagittarius. You've completed something, you've been successful. It's the last card in the major arcana, meaning that you've been through the hero's journey and you are wrapping that chapter up, right? Because we go through multiple journeys, right? We go through the major arcana, the 21 cards, and then we start at the Fool again. And the Fool, even though you don't have the Fool here, I just want to mention that the Fool is not a fool. The Fool may be perceived as foolish, but the Fool is ultimately going into something new, taking a risk, taking a leap of faith on themselves based on all of the wisdom that they have gained through the previous journey, through the previous chapter, right? So for some reason that needed to be said, even though the Fool is not here, Sagittarius. Especially, right, like I was saying, it's like speaking again to trusting that you've got all of this wisdom that you can tap into to guide you in this new chapter. And here, speaking to your intuition and your intuitive powers, is the High Priestess starting your reading. So again, there is a lot of encouragement here to really tune into the guidance that you are receiving from within, from the inner wisdom that stems from your experience, but also from your intuitive guidance, your higher self. Because you have an opportunity in this new chapter to rise up. You are actually being called to rise up, to awaken to really a new version of yourself. a you 2.0 is calling to you. And really, this you 2.0 is really just you in even more alignment with your true self. And what will help you with this is really being focused on the direction that you want to be going in, and then putting your energy in that direction, right? Like usually this is a very interesting version of the Eight of Wands, because usually you see 8 wands and they're all moving. They're moving in a very targeted, specific direction, right? There, it's like putting like a focus on a goal, and then all, what's that saying that I'm trying to, I can't think of the saying. It's like just out of reach, but you know, it's like everything is directed towards that goal. And so you've got a lot of momentum, but it's very targeted, it's very directed, and there's like all your energy is moving in that direction. This gives a little bit of a different vibe. So what I get from this Eight of Wands is that maybe you haven't determined what that direction is, right? There's a need to kind of tap into your intuition. There's a need to receive the guidance that's ultimately going to help you know where you want to focus all that energy. You've got the Queen of Swords here next. And the Queen of Swords is very smart. She's been through a lot of experiences during the course of her life, and she's gained, I mean, talk about gaining a lot of wisdom. The Queen of Swords has gained a tremendous amount of wisdom, and she holds the sword of truth here. Not only does she hold it, it's interesting in this version, usually the queen is holding up the sword of truth, but in this version, she's got it down, pointed to the ground, which signifies to me that she's applying that wisdom to her reality, right? To the earth, to the material realm. And so she's taking that wisdom that she's gained and she's applying it in order to move in the direction that she wants. Notice that she's also in a very meditative state, right? So again, tuning in to that intuition, into that inner wisdom, to that guidance that knows, that directs you on how you want to apply the wisdom that you've gained, like where you want to be focusing that energy of the Eight of Wands, right? The Queen of Swords also speaks to the need to have a sense of humor, right? She has been through so much that she actually is able to see the humor in things. So she's got a sharp wit and uses it, wisely. She's got a keen sense of humor. And she also does not suffer fools. So she can see through the BS, and she's very discerning. One kind of cautionary thing about the Queen of Swords is that she can err on the side of idealism and having her standards be a little too high, such that it can get in the way of experiencing life, right? If we have such high standards that we don't accept different experiences or people or fill in the blank in our life, then we can actually be kind of cutting ourselves out from reality, right? Because our standards are too high. So that's just a side note. It might not apply for everybody, but it's just a little warning side of the Queen of Swords to be aware of. We've also got the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is somebody who is, it's funny, once again in this deck, it's a very different version of the Knight of Swords, because typically we think of all the knights as moving, and the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest of all the knights. And sometimes, he might be on a horse and he's not really, he's moving so slowly you can't even determine that he actually is moving. But the Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight in the deck, and yet here he is standing still. But it's like he's wielding a sword that's a little bit too big for him, is what I'm noticing here. And he's very protected, right? He's got that armor covering his head. And so I feel like this Knight of Swords is kind of speaking to the cautionary side of the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords can be a bit too impulsive, can be a little bit moving a little bit faster than he's ready to go, and kind of creating chaos along the way because he's been a little bit impulsive, he's been a little sharp-tongued, he's been a bit too much, too soon. So I think this is speaking to the need for some patience, some restraint, and some clarity before taking action, right? Because it can speak to kind of wanting to take action really quickly, like feeling like I gotta move now. And so, there's a need to kind of temper that impulse to move forward, right? I think a number of cards here are speaking to the fact that it may not be time to like move forward. It may be time to really kind of be gelling on the direction in which you want to move first, getting that clarity before you make the decision, the Two of Wands, to take action, right? The Two of Wands speaks to the need to really get clear on what it is that you want, what is the goal that you are wanting to move towards, and how is it that you can get there, right? The Two of Wands is a decision-making card, but it's also a planning card, right? So creating a plan of action for getting yourself where you want to go. Again, not a big movement card, but more of a planning card, or kind of being in that percolating and planning stage. With the Six of Wands here, there is a need to move out of any kind of mental chaos, any mental conflict, any kind of mental turmoil, into a place of mental tranquility, into a place of calm. And I think that makes sense given everything we've talked about here, because in order to really tap into your inner wisdom, in order to receive the guidance from your intuition, your mind needs to be at peace, right? Because otherwise that's going to impede your ability to access your intuition and your inner wisdom, because you're going to be hearing your mental chatter instead. I'm hearing monkey mind, right? We want to kind of quiet and calm any kind of monkey mind that we're experiencing. And I think I'm being drawn back to this acceptance card, because oftentimes when we can really get into a place of acceptance, it can actually help us find more peace and more calm within our mind. Finally, we've got the Six of Pentacles here. And the Six of Pentacles speaks to a state of equanimity and moving towards situations that offer more balance and more equal give and take. So perhaps the chapter that you're closing out, or kind of what you're leaving behind, in terms of this, this previous journey, this previous path, like I said, the previous chapter you've been in, perhaps there was a bit of imbalance. And you're being encouraged to really focus on how you can move forward into this next chapter from a place of more balance, but also into situations that offer more balance, that offer more equal give and take, where you are receiving as much as you are giving. And this card also speaks to generosity, and I think the more we are around people who are generous, the more it helps us feel generous, right? And we can feel generous of heart and generous of spirit, and it can be reciprocated in situations that reflect the Six of Pentacles, right? Because otherwise, if we are the ones being generous, but we're being around people or in situations where others are not really providing that reciprocation, it can make us feel a little bit resentful, or it can make us feel like we're being taken advantage of, or fill in the blank. So really, your intuition is wanting to guide you, and your inner wisdom is wanting to guide you and put you into situations that offer equanimity and equal give and take and balance as you move forward here. All right, I was just looking to see if there's any other messages here, but yeah, I think that's the message. So I hope that was helpful for you, Sagittarius. Take really good care of yourself. Thank you so much for choosing to join me today. Sending you lots of love, and until next time, bye.